Hello, everybody. My name is Anna Bakhvalova, and I'm a co-founder at Career Pathway Institute. We help professionals immigrants to find their career path in the United States. And we know it can be challenging and frustrating. And we help professional immigrants by serving the program Design Your Career, and also we have Career Pathway Institute community. So if you want to join us, you can find the link below this video. And there are many people who have those feelings when they move from their country to the United States. They feel like they lost everything. They feel that, hey, I was brave, I took courage, and I moved to the United States. But who I am right now? Am I professional? I think it's very important to talk about it. Why visa status affects so much on our professional and personal feelings. And today we have our special guest, Estefania. She is a professional coach. She is a leadership coach from Brazil. She right now living in the Silicon Valley. She has a degree in psychology and she is executive coach and certification from the ICF. Elsa, for last 8 years she has the 8 years of coaching experience with more than 20 and 100 clients from the world. Hi, Stefania. How are you?
Hello. Hi, Anna. Hi, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. And I think it's very important to discuss why professionals, immigrants feel in this way, why they feel that they lost their professional and personal identity, especially if they have visa restrictions, if they can't work, they left everything, their career, they put on the hold their professional growth. They have to set up everything, like find the kindergarten to the kids, find the school to the kids, find the new grocery storage, so many things. And all of them, they're still brave and they're still smart and they're still professional. But it's very important from my perspective to talk about why visa status impact professional feelings so much. And Estefania, can you briefly introduce yourself and tell your story, please?
Yeah. So a little about myself. I'm Brazilian, as Anna mentioned. I've been living here in Silicon Valley for the past almost 6 years. And I came here with my husband. So he came to work in tech, and I came as a trailing spouse. And for the past 5 years, I've been helping other immigrants, same as me, to find themselves in this new country, because I know it's very challenging, but also it takes a lot of courage, as Anna mentioned. So this is me, very excited to be
So
here.
you can relate, like,
Yes.
how is it to leave your country and arrive to the new environment and try to find your new pathway and decide what you have to do. So let's a little bit start to discuss why the visa status, why these legal documents affect so much on professionals, immigrants, why we
Mhm.
feel frustrated, why we feel lost from time to time.
Mhm. So why the visa status affects so much? And I think there are two pieces to that answer. One is it really is challenging to learn everything, to gather all the documents and to understand what's going on. And in our country of origin, we already knew because we are already adults there. So when we move to another country, figuring out this documentation on top of daily stuff, where to live, where to go to groceries, is like it's a lot of things at the same time. And this brings what they call expat fatigue, which is dealing with all this new environment and everything at the same time. So this is one piece, like the information aspect of it, the overload. But the next one is how this external impact us. So when we move And here I'm talking about the experience of immigrants coming to the US. When we come here, the visa or the visa, it's almost like a symbol of that we don't belong, the same as our accent, our previous experiences, the way that we dress. Like, I feel like the documentation, it's almost like a reminder that we don't belong, that we have this otherness. And this has an emotional impact because we don't only think that we are different and fine. We think, and this is from my experience and from my clients, we think that we are different and we are less. So less worthy, less intelligent, less capable in a work environment, or even that our value that we had in our home country, they don't translate here. So I do think that the visa status can carry this symbol of we don't belong and we are less than the native people.
Yes.
Does that make sense, Anna?
Yes, this is so true because everything what you have to set up after you move to the United States, it's like a symbol and reminders every day that you are not belong here. You are not belong here. And of course, when every day you think about it, you feel that, hey, if I do not belong here, who I am, what I'm doing here. Yes, we decided to move because we've been looking for a better life for our family, better opportunities from money perspective, better opportunities from kids education perspective. Some people moving because of the safety issues in their own country. But this is interesting feeling that you are not belong and setting up all things with the visa, it takes like couple of months. And after this, your advocates or your lawyers, they have to set up all these things. But why these legal documents affects on our professional identity? Because yes, you might feel lost and frustrated as a personality, but why we start considering, hey, I lost my professional identity. I have no experience. It's a like phenomenal thing. Let's talk about it more.
Yeah. So I do think that's because we get wrapped up on the challenges of moving abroad, and because in our own country, we had a sense of identity, a sense of belonging, and a sense of professional value. And when we move to another country and everything is different, and sometimes we cannot even go to the grocery stores and understand what the cashier is saying. And we are not rational beings, right? We are emotional beings. So I think this all gets wrapped up and we start to feel like the person that we were before is not the person that we are here. And again, not in a neutral way, in a negative way. And the same way that I cannot, for example, make friends, I cannot enter the job market. This is all unconscious. So the same way that I cannot understand what the bank clerk is asking me, I cannot understand a job interview. How am I going to be in a job interview? So this all gets entangled. And there is a phenomenon that I think is really interesting that is called the confirmation bias. This is something that our brain has, that we have a hypothesis, and then everything that we live, that we see, we confirm that hypothesis. So when I see immigrants, we have this hypothesis of this belief of I don't belong, I'm less qualified, I I don't have value. So every time that you do something that doesn't go as planned, as the same that I said before, all these examples, you confirm that you don't have value. You confirm that you don't belong. And this takes a toll in our confidence. And because things are intertwined in our professional identity, because if I was a great professional in my home country and I could communicate and I could build relationships, how can I do that here if I cannot even go to the bank? So it takes a toll on an emotional level, and the confidence and the professional identity goes into the bucket of chaos.
Yes, it's a like endless process. If you have these mind statements that I do not belong here, you start to build the relevant environment that convince you that you don't belong here. For example, you don't go and learn English, you don't go and make your friends, you don't go and socialize, and you don't believe in yourself, so you don't send in the resume, or you at least don't learn the job market. And you don't do this, and you convince yourself, yes, I'm not belonging. So this is a very
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Exactly what you said. Yes.
Oh, wow, there is this special words for describing what we have. And so from your perspective, of course, changing the country, it's pretty challenging. It just take time. From your perspective, so how are immigrants professionals who are ambitious enough and they really want to succeed in the United States? They just feel this expat fatigue. They feel
Mhm.
lost and frustrated. What should they do? What there is first step supposed to be to broke this endless circle?
Yeah.
What's the
Mhm.
some 5 easy steps how they can broke it and start to feel better in a professional way?
Mhm. So what are things that we can do that will help with the confidence and professional identity? I do think is challenging this confirmation bias. So, for example, connecting with people. And I remember that once I came here, my first year, I went to a coaching program that had like top executives learning to be coach. And I was there, I was the youngest. And then being able to talk to them, being understood, feeling that what I said was valuable. This was changing my misconception. The same as so connecting with people, going into meetups or boot camps or whatever, but talking to
Realize.
people so you remember that you have something to say, that you are heard. The other person said, wow, this is so interesting. Your experience is so interesting. So getting that feedback, and also having the groups or support the same as you have, Anna, that people, they see other immigrants and how they manage to succeed. That also helps with an inspiration, because then you feel, well, if they did it and they are not as different as myself, I can do it. So seeing this inspiration, and also I feel like getting some professional experience. And I'm saying professional because it doesn't have to be a job, but it has to be something that you feel like you put your knowledge, your talent, like you put an input, and then you have an output of something to show. Can be a volunteering, can be an own project. So starting a podcast, starting writing a book, starting to have some meetups. So just something that you remember the person that you are, because you are still the person that you were in your home country. You still have, if you have a creativity talent, this will show up here. If you have a way of connecting with people, maybe you don't know all the words, but you do know how to read people. If you love to be around and connect the dots, it will appear here. So just put yourself in situations that these talents will appear again, and you will remember who you are, and even update yourself. Because I do think that we are not the same person that we were in a home country. We are bigger because we had all this courageous path. So like giving yourself the opportunity to see those things in action. So I was thinking about that, Anna, and I do think that adaptation or even learning who you are again is an active form. You cannot do that only thinking about it. You have to live it. You have to go
Start
to groups. Yes. Go to the bank by yourself. Start a volunteering job or starting your own project. Getting yourself moving so you remember who you are.
Wow, this is a really great advice. So first of all, the first step, number one, you have to start socializing. But for socializing, you have to make you able to communicate with people. So learning English and practicing speaking, it's a crucial. I know many immigrants and especially professionals, they scared to look stupid, to do mistakes. You have to deal with it. You can talk with life coaches like Stefania, or you can deal it with yourself, but you have to allow yourself make mistake, not be not be professional on 100%, because without being able to communicate in English, and especially in Silicon Valley, they all immigrants, and it's easier to
Yes.
communicate with other immigrants rather than talking with native speakers. So you
Yes.
have to go out of your comfort zone. And many professional immigrants in this way say, "Hey, I left my comfort zone already, and I have to go out of comfort zone again." So yes, and this is why Estefania mentioned that you become bigger. You just all your way, it's just going out of comfort zone without even resting it in comfort zone. It's just all the way. And you know what? And I strongly believe if you are right now in the United States, it's not happened by accident. I think this is the sign that you belong here.
Mm.
This is the sign that you have some purposes and goals to be here. And the second step, make connections, make some friends, make some warm connections with people, especially after 35. It's not easy. We all busy. We have kids, we have some stuff, but invest your time and money and your energy to making connections. Yep. And the third step, remind yourself that you are still professionals by, as Estefania mentioned, acting. You have to take some small project and be responsible for this project. This is the only one way how you can grow and remind yourself that you are still professional.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is a really great advice. And so, Estefania, my last question for this conversation. If you will have the chance to talk to yourself before you move to the United States, what 2, 3 quick, small recommendations you would give to yourself?
Mm-hmm. Oof, that's I love that
Surprise!
question. Yeah, and it's a surprise question. So the first thing, and you mentioned the language, right? The first thing is that I would give advice to myself is not wait too long to start for me coaching in English, because I spent 3 years thinking that I wasn't ready. And my husband would tell me, you have enough English, you are fine. You can talk to people that have English as second language. What are you waiting for? And I had this belief. And so this is one thing, like your English, my English is not perfect. My Portuguese is not perfect. And I never thought that I was less for speaking bad Portuguese. Not bad, but like imperfect Portuguese, right? So why do we think that we need to be perfect in English? I'm not perfect in my mother tongue. So this is one thing. And the second is connecting with people more outside of my comfort zone, which is the Brazilian community. I started doing that. I did that with the course that I mentioned, my first year, and that was life-changing. If I did more of that, it would help me a lot. So these two things. So language and also people from outside your culture. And you said Silicon Valley is a melting pot of cultures. So expanding yourself, like talking to people that you wouldn't have talk when you are in your home country, this is a privilege. That why not? Let's connect with different people. So these would be the two pieces of advice that I will give myself.
Thank you so much. This is so really amazing. I always remind myself, hey, why not me? Why not me? Hey, why not me? I'm smart. I can figure out. I can do planning. I can learn English. I can just give me 100 hours and I will figure out any topic. So just give me my time. Thank you so much, Estefania. And you really give us a very great advice. And for people who are still scary, there is no way. You have to start communicate. You have to start speak. You have to go and meet new people and make new connection. You have to learn how to introduce yourself. You have to learn how to do the elevator pitch. You have to figure out who you are and what is your professionalism. You have to do all that stuff. Unfortunately, if you took courage and bravery to move to the United States, I think this is easier when you are already here in Bay Area. So just do one more little step and you will see. Thank you so much, Estefania, so for coming here. Your advices are really great. And guys, if you feel lost and frustrated, you can join our Design Your Career program. Or if you want to remind yourself that you are still professional, you can join our CPI community and become a professional volunteer. Just remind yourself that you still can do this. And all the links and Estefania's website, if you want to work with her and communicate and you have some questions to her directly, all the links you can find below this video. And also please subscribe and leave the comments below this video so we will know what other topic you are interested in. Thank you so much for coming here. It was a really great pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.